Hello everyone, this is Suresh from Azure ADB. Today our topic is how to create conditional columns using when and otherwise functions in PySpark while generating random values using rand function. So before watching this video, I will recommend to watch my video on rand function. Okay, so I made separate video how to use random function. So if you watch that video, it will be easy for this video. So first what I'm doing, I'm trying to create a data frame with range up to 15. So spark.range 15. So what it does is whenever you use range function, by default, it will give generate column ID and values will generate from 0 to 14. So this is our sample data frame. Next, I'm trying to import all the required functions, mainly rand and when function, lit call, and from types, I'm using long type. So first, I'm trying to add, add one column, rand underscore value by using rand function. So what it does is it will add one column to this data frame and it will generate random values. So see, this is our random value column. It will generate random. If you give rand only rand, it will generate random values of float type. It will generate all the float values. See like this. You can say float or decimal values, but this range will be between 0 to 1. By default, it will generate between 0 to 1. And if you see here, see no value, it will cross more than 1. So all values will be between 0 to 1. So that is about first one. About this one, df1. Next, what I'm doing, on top of that, I'm creating one more column, that is value, and I'm using when function. In when, what I'm doing, giving condition df1 of random value. So from this data frame, that means this column, if this column values is greater than 0.5, then it has to print as 1, otherwise 0. If you see here, this value is 0.978. So that means this value is greater than 0.5. So what will print? It will print 1. And if you see this value 0.04, so that means condition is otherwise. So it will print 0. And if you see here 0.8, 0.8 means it greater than 0.5. So it printing 1. And if you see these three are less than 0.5. So then it will go for otherwise condition. So it will print 0. Okay, so like this, it will print uh, these values in this column. Next, we'll see one more columns. Like, see, I'm creating 3 more columns. Is value already we created, is even, is high, and status. If you see first one, is even, what I did is I used when and otherwise condition. In when, what I'm doing, rand and converting to integer and giving this condition. So that means, sorry. So rand star 10. That means, see, if you give only rand, it will generate float values between 0 to 1. And if you give star 10 means, it will generate random float values between 0 to 10. And those float values I'm converting to integer type. So that means single value. Instead of float value, I'm generating single value. And if that value, this whole thing will generate one single value, no? Single integer value. If you do modulus of 2, and if that value is equal to 0, then you should print as 1. If it is not matching this condition, then you should print as 0. So if you go is even, see what it does is this value first it will convert to integer, then it will check this one. If this condition is matching, then it will print 1, and if it is not matching, then it will print 0. Okay, so like that. So next condition, rand, here float values. Okay, so here we are not converting to integer. So float values between 0 to 1. It will generate first float values between 0 to 1. And those float values, if it is greater than 0.7, it will print as 1. Otherwise, 0. So that is this one. Okay. So if you see here, okay. So if you value is greater than 0.7, it will print as 1. And similar way, third column is here I given rand. That means random values it will generate float values. And if it is less than 0.5, it will print as low. And the trend value is greater than or equal to 0.5, and random value is less than 0.8. If these two conditions are matching, then it will print as medium. Otherwise, it will print as high. And if you see here status column, see it will printing low, high, medium like this. Okay. So it totally depends on these random values. Next, we'll go for one more example. So first, I'm creating one data frame. So this is my source data frame. I have these many columns. And here, what I'm trying to do is, first what I'm doing, this is my data frame. I am trying to group by of this column. Product type, and trying to calculate count. What is that product type? This one. So in this column, I'm trying to group by like how many distinct values are there. See, we have automatic, manual. Okay. So I'm trying to group by and I'm counting that. Okay. So that is one thing. And one more thing, I'm calculating total rows in my data frame. And later, what I'm doing from this data frame. So here I did group by, no? So this one, for this data frame, first what it generates here is this one, it will generate. Okay, product type. If you do group by, since we have two distinct values, one is automatic and second one is manual. And since we used to count, it will add one more column count, and it will give you how many automatic and how many manual in that particular column. On top of that, I'm trying to create one more column, that is percentage. And here what I'm doing, call of count. So that means this value 31 by total count, this one. So here I'm trying to calculate total rows in our data frame. So that means 31 by how many we have total rows? If you see 31 plus 19, or you can say check here 50 rows. Okay, so 31 by 50 and into 100, it will give us the percentage. So in this product type column, this distinct value automatic, it has 62%, and manual, it has 38%. Okay, so here I calculated for product type column. So this is for product type column. So next I'll calculate for some other column. So here I'm trying to calculate for product flag column. So if you see here, product flag, okay, so here yes or no's are there. So same I'm doing group by and count. So this one up to here, what it does is first product underscore flag, it will do group by, and it has two distinct values, yes and no. On top of that, we are giving count. So it will add one more column and it will give you each distinct value, how many count is there. Okay. So on top of that, I'm adding one more column, percentage, and I'm calculating call off count. So that means 17 by total count. Total count is 50 and into 100 to get the percentage. So it will give respect to percentage. Okay. So this is about product flag. Next, we'll see under index column. So in index column, we have distinct values. See, in index, we have Boolean values, true or false. And if you see here, index, first I'm doing group by and count. So in group by, it giving true and false distinct values, and this relevant numbers, how many rows are there, true how many rows are there, false how many rows are there, that count it is given. And on top of that, percentage, this column, and so call count by total count. So 25 by 50, 25 by 50. So each has 50-50%. So similar way, I will try to calculate for last date column. So in last date, if you try to do group by and see, we have only one value. This is a long type and this is the timestamp value. It is in milliseconds. Okay, so this value, we have only one value. So total 50 is there. That means whole data frame. This column has only single value. So all the rows has this value. And what is the percentage? 100. So here in this percent, 50 by 50 into 100. So 100 percentage, 100%. Next, end date, end underscore date. On this column, we are checking. See here, first we are doing group by and count. Due to group by, see we have total we have 50 rows, but in 50 rows we have 9 distinct values. So each distinct value it giving count. So how many are there? Okay, and this is the percentage. So here we are calculating call count. That means first 1 by 50. So what is the percentage? 1 by 50, 2 by 50. 2 by 50, 3 by 50. So, okay, like this, it will calculate percentage. So each distinct value, what is the percentage in that column? So next, what we'll do, so now we'll calculate it from our default, from source data frame. I randomly picked some around 5 columns and I checked how many, after doing group by, how many distinct values are there and their count and percentage. Now what I'm doing is I'm trying to add some random values to these columns. Later we'll see how this count and percentage will vary. So first I'm applying on product type column. I'm using when and otherwise function. In when condition, what I'm doing, see initially we have only two, automatic and manual. So, and it gave some percentage. Okay, so now what I'm doing, if you see here, first one, manual and okay, automatic and manual. So we have one is 62%, other one is 38%. But here, what I'm trying to do is 50-50%. So rand condition. So rand function, it first it will generate float values between 0 to 1 and it will check how many values are less than 0.5. So if the value is less than 0.5, it will print as automatic, otherwise manual. Next, it will go for product underscore flag. So here, what is the ratio we have? Product underscore flag. That is this one. So we have 34% and 66%. So here, what I'm doing, same condition I'm giving less than 0.5. So if value is less than 0.5, then it will print as, otherwise no. Similar way for index. So index, we have yes or no, sorry, true and false. So rand condition I'm giving, if it is less than 0.5, it should print as true, otherwise false. So similar way for last date. So in last date, so we have one timestamp with 100%. So here, instead of that, what I'm trying to do, so 50-50. So if random value is less than 0.5, then print this value. If otherwise, print this value. So instead of unique value, I'm trying to add different values, two different values. And for end date, see end date, we have this many distinct values and their count. And if you see this percentage, so here I'm trying to alter this percent. So I'm giving equally like this. If rand value is less than 0.12, then print this value. If rand value is less than 0.12, print this value. So I given different conditions and different values. Okay, and I given otherwise. So, and finally, I'm changing these columns to long type. And if you see this end type, after converting, it will become integer value, means integer data type. But we need it as a long type because this is the timestamp value. It is in milliseconds. So I want to keep it in long type. Okay, similar way, last date also. So these two I'm converting to long time, and similar way start. Okay, this we are not used, so this we can ignore. Okay, so after applying this, I'm trying to display here. See, these values are altered, but we'll see how much percentage it is varying from our source data frame to this altered data frame. So first time what I'm doing, first I'm checking for product type. So I'm using same code, but data frame is different. This is our final data frame. This is our final data frame because all these transformations we performed on this final data frame. So this entire code I'm changing, I'm replacing df underscore final with df. Okay, so remaining same. So now group by applying on product underscore type. So we have two, automatic and manual. See here, I try to alter with existing values. You may change to maybe different values. Instead of two, I given no automatic and manual. You can add some more distinct values also. Like you can add one more when condition like this. Like this, you can add some different conditions and you can give some other distinct values other than automatic and manual. Okay, so so here by default I selected two. So these are automatic and manual, and these are all the count. And we cross verify with our original data frame. And if you see here, product type. So if I take image and product type, and if you go and check with our latest one, see here, see with our initial data frame, automatic we have 31 and manual we have 19. So now this altered to 26 and 24. So maximum it try to generate 50-50%. Okay. So this is the difference. And similar way, you can check for product flag column. So here same thing, code is same, and I replaced df with df underscore final. And now we compare with our source data frame flag one. So flag. So if you see here, so initially we have no 17, yes 33. So now it got changed 28, 22, and respect to that percentage also. See the difference after applying random values. So similarly, we check for index column. So here also code is same, only df is replaced with df final. So first I will check our initial values. See, initially we have 25, 25. Now this got changed to 30, 20. Okay. So similar way, we'll check for last date. So last date we have only one value. And if you see here, last date, see we now, since we given two conditions, no, so that's why we are getting two values, two timestamp values. Okay, so this difference and type. First we'll check our original one with source one. We'll check with the latest one. See here, initially we have 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3. So here see it got totally changed. Okay, and this relevant percent also. So this how we can use when and otherwise function with help of rand function to randomly and update the values. Okay, so whatever I getting here, no, this count and percentage, it may vary for you whenever you apply, whenever you run every time. Okay, so the source, source will be always fixed because our data frame has fixed values. Since we are applying here random values, suppose first time I run this and we got these values. Okay, these values 26, 24. Suppose assume that. So this one I'm trying to run one more time, second time, and we see the difference. I need to run initial things also. Okay, now okay, we supposed to run this. Okay, so this is our data frame and this is fixed. It won't going to change. And we'll take this screenshot also. Anyhow, this is not required. This is fixed, no? So we just want to compare here only. After running one more time, this one, See, these random values will change now. Every time it will change. And if you see here, how many are there? 26, 24. We'll see now. See, it got changed. So whenever you run every time, no, this count will get changed. Okay, so because every time it will generate different random values. Okay, so similar way you can check these things also. 28, 22 is there. Now it's giving same. We'll check one more time. So you'll check multiple times. It will give you different values. So like this, you can check, you can rerun these cells, each cell, and you can see the difference. Okay, so each time random values will get changed, and this count also will get changed. If you don't want to change, then every time you want to generate same values, what you have to do is inside rand function, you have to use seed equal to 24. Okay, so if you enter in all rand inside rand functions, seed equal to 24. So then how many times you run this cell, it will generate same count. So that is the difference. Okay, so that's all about this video. So if you really like this video, please like and subscribe. Thank you.